Masechet Avodah Zarah Daf Yod Dalet Amud Aleph, approximately 18 lines down. V'tanechol lavan. Our Mishnah mentioned that you can't sell a white rooster to a goy because they use it for Avodah Zarah. The Gemara says, "Amar Rabbi Zera, Amar Rabbi Zera, Amar Rabbi Zvid." Ve'ikamatni asking to say the following: Amar Rabbi Zera, Amar Rabbi Zera. Tanechol lemi. If a goy is asking around, who has a rooster to sell? He doesn't say white. Mutalim kol tanech lavan. Then it's allowed. You're allowed to sell him a white rooster because he didn't ask for it. If you ask who has a white rooster, you can't sell them that because then he might use it for korban. The Gemara says, Rabbi says in our Mishnah that if you want to sell him a white rooster, you could sell him with amongst other roosters in a bundle. What's the case? If the case is where he's asking for white roosters and then you sell him a bunch of roosters, then it shouldn't be allowed because he's still going to use that white rooster for Avodah Zarah. It's talking about a case where the guy's just asking for a rooster without saying white. Does that mean according to Rabbi that you could only sell a white one amongst others, but by itself you can't? But that means according to the first opinion, it sounds like even amongst other roosters it's not allowed. So we see from here that Rabbi and Tanakama will both hold that when you're selling just the white rooster, it's asur. The problem is Rabbi Yonah said that you're allowed to sell just a white rooster if it wasn't asked for. He said both. I want a white rooster and I want a regular rooster. Since he said both, Tanakama said no, and Rabbi said yes. Proof as well. Okay. Even if the guy said, I want a white rooster, if he was a goy making a party for his son, wedding, or he had a sick person at home, mutar, let us sell it to him. Like where it says, we saw in our first Mishnah that you can't sell someone who's having a party for his son, a goy. Where it says, it's talking about a regular party for the wedding, like a bachelor's party. It seems according to the way the Rashi explains it. Not a wedding party, that's why it's allowed. Okay. Tana Mishnah says, Ushar kol dvarim, any other things in the Mishnah, staman mutar, if the guy did not tell you what it's for, it's mutar. Uparashun asur, if he tells you what it's for, it's asur. Now the Gemara says, well, what is that talking about? What are we learning from that? My staman, what does it mean he didn't ask for anything specifically? My Parushan, what does it mean he did ask for them specifically? Ilim, if you want to tell me stama, where he didn't ask anything, he says, I just want white wheat without saying why he wants it. He didn't say I want it for Avodah Zarah. And therefore, if he specifies it, that's referring to a case, it must be talking about a case where he's specifying it, I want it for Avodah Zarah. Of course, that's pashut. If he didn't say it, then it's fine. But if he says it's for Avodah Zarah, then of course it's asur. Why do you need to teach me that? We're like, okay, fine. You know what? We have to re-explain the case in the Mishnah. Ella must be stamad kamar hite, non-specified case where the guy says, I just want wheat. He's talking about, he says, I want wheat. He didn't ask for anything. And Perushan, where does he say, I want something? The kamar Hivata, where he said, I want white wheat. So now, what do we see from here? The Mishnah is mentioning the difference between specifically saying, I want something and not something, is, I want white wheat, which would be asur, and not saying anything would be, I want wheat, which would be mutar. The Gemara says, Amri, but the problem is with that, it says, Michal, it sounds like the case of Tanakol, the case of rooster, Afil Staman Lamilo. It sounds like if he didn't specify that he wanted a white one, it would still be asur. Question against Rabbi Yonah, who says that's mutar. The Gemara says, Amr, we say no. Really, when we're saying, when did he ask non-specific, where he's saying, I want white wheat? Perushan, and we said, what does it mean specifically? He says, I want specifically, I want the white wheat for Avodah Zarah. Perushan is richlin. Yeah, we said it before, what's the chidush? Now we're going to explain what's the chidush. Why? The chidush is, You would have thought, right? Well, if he's telling you one for the Avodah Zarah, what's the hidush? You would have thought, maybe he doesn't really want for Avodah Zarah. Maybe the reason is because he's very attached and lovingly beloved of his Avodah Zarah. And he thinks just like he's in love with it. So everybody else is also in love with it. And therefore, the reason why he's saying it, therefore, maybe you would have thought that he said, I need white wheat for Avodah Zarah, is so that people will give him a good price. Oh, you want it for Avodah Zarah? I'll give you a good price. Oh, Sadiq you are. And that's why maybe you should be allowed to sell him the wheat, because maybe it's not for Avodah Zarah, he's just using it as a ploy. The Gemara says, Kamash V'lan teach you, it is still asur. Okay, but Rashi has a question. If someone's a guy is asking, who has a rooster that is missing a limb? Right, so now we know that a rooster with missing a limb they can't use for Avodah Zarah. Who are you allowed to sell him a rooster that is whole and complete? Because maybe he's asking for a rooster that's mutilated, maybe because it must be showing that he doesn't want it for Avodah Zarah, and therefore you could sell him a complete rooster. Maybe he's sketching everybody here, and therefore he's asking for a mutilated one to get a full one from you because he wants it for Avodah Zarah. The Gemara says, if you tell me that it's a case where he's actually doing a trick, if the guy's asking who has a white rooster, and the guy gives him a black rooster and he buys it, and he offers him a red rooster and he takes it as well, he lets him the white one now also. Do we say since he already took a black one and and a red one, must be he's not taking roosters for Avodah Zarah, and therefore you could sell him the white one. Or Dilma, maybe be also sketching you. The Gemara says tekel. Okay. Says even a nice palm tree also cannot be sold. We learn that the Gemara that Avodah Zarah of Avraham Avinu he had 400 pirakim. We only have 5 pirakim in our Avodah Zarah because Avodah Zarah was much bigger back then. I don't understand this part of the Mishnah. What is Chatzav? What does Niklas mean? The Gemara says, what's your question? The Gemara says, Mishnah says, sounds like you can't sell a nice palm tree. Sounds like you can sell a bad palm tree, a low quality one. But Mishnah says, our Mishnah says that you can't sell anything attached to the ground. Where it says, my dekel tav, what does it mean a good palm tree? Pero dekel tav, the fruit of a good palm tree, yani the dates. Also Ravuna says, also nice dates. What's hatzav? Kashba. It's a type of date mentioned in Mesachet Megillah. So, and it's also a type of plant that we learn that Yehoshua split Eretz Yisrael through the Shivatim with this special plant because the roots go straight down, and that's why they split Eretz Yisrael with it, because it was able to use it as a boundary maker. Okay, Niklas. What's Niklas? Kuriate. He said it's kuriate. Right, type of fruit. Okay. It's like, Mishnah mentioned Niklas, I didn't know what that was. You told me kuriate, I don't know what that is either. What are you helping me? They tell me that Niklas equals Kuriyat. The Gemara says, it'll help you because when you go to Yisrael, Niklas, and someone tells you Niklas, then they don't know what it is. Then you'll tell them that you want Kuriyat, they don't understand, they'll show you what it is. Meaning, yes, you don't know what it means now, but if you go to Eretz Yisrael, they can actually show it to you because now you know what another name for it is. Okay, new Mishnah. A place where they used to have a minhag to sell smaller animals to goyim. Right, sometimes they would not have to. Right, so sheep and goats. The reason why you're able to sell to them in this case would be because they're not suspected of having relations with animals. Gross. Machrin, you can sell it. Makom shenagu ložim kor, it says they no man have to sell it. And machrin, you can't sell it. Umchom makom in marchin lehem behem agasam. In every place, you definitely cannot sell large animals. Because we're worried that they might be worked on Shabbat. Even if they're babies at the time, right? So baby cow, baby horse. Whether they're healthy or they're injured. Rabbi Damir Matir B'Shavua says it's allowed if they're injured. Also allows a horse. Okay. The name sounds like the Yisur Adleka. There's no Yisur to selling small animals to Goyim. Minhagahu de'ika. It's only a minhag. Right? It sounds like Makom Shenahagu, the Mishnah said. Only if you have it the minhag. What? Technically it's allowed? It's only a minhag? Hecha den hig Yisur nahug. Hecha den hig. Sounds like only if it's allowed, not allowed. I mean, Sirah says, we cannot place your animal at the inn of a goy because you're worried that you might place your animal for safekeeping and the goy will be with your animal. Sodomize your animal. The Gemara says, so we see that all goyim are suspected. The one says, in a place where you're able to sell animals, you could also leave your animals there as well. They can have yichud with your animal, we're not worried. In a place where they are suspected, you can't leave your animals together with the goy privately. You also can't sell it. I mean, they go hand in hand. Rabbi Elazar says, even in a place where it's asur to leave animals alone with them, you could possibly sell. My time, why? Because a goy wouldn't want to ruin his animal that he bought. So if he's watching your animal, he won't care, he might sodomize it. But if he bought your animal, he might ruin the animal by being with it, he might make it sterile, and therefore he won't want to ruin his animal by making it sterile, so therefore he won't touch it. Rav had ben, even Rav agreed with him to Avodah Zarah. A goy is worried about his animal that it won't become sterile, and therefore he won't sodomize it, and that is why the Mishnah is dependent on your minhag.